Welcome, friends or newcomers. I am Deanna. I am here as we are all in this great awakening of 2020. If you've followed my channel and have been a subscriber to my channel, you know that I've been talking about 2020, a year of gaining clear vision, awakening from the slumbers that many of us have been in for far too long, and also sharing on my channel my perspective on what Revelations is, meaning we have all of this dark, hidden things that have been here for so long that are being revealed because we have light coming into our planet, coming into our vessels, becoming more of our righteous selves, right? If you're already on the path of gaining clarity of who we truly are, which is much bigger, much larger, much more beautiful and divine than anything that anybody's ever told us. So welcome to Scorpio season. It is November 6th. We are just post election here for the United States. And the reason that is so significant is because we are our brother's keepers. We're supposed to be in integrity and setting the example for the rest of the world on what we were truly supposed to be built on, which is truth and integrity and the opportunity for all people. And so that's kind of been hijacked. And part of the revelations is right now, what we're witnessing, layer upon layer of the dark hidden things, right? Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter have been in Capricorn, dismantling the structures of Capricorn, of the top-down authority. And with our two eyes, it's definitely, if we're not tethered to the divine, it can look very, very dark, like very doom and gloom. And a lot of the religious indoctrination has told us that, we're dirty little sinners and we're all going to get thrown into the fiery pit of hell. Well, and in all actuality, it's our collective consciousness that has created what we're witnessing. And right now, because we are ascending, which is just us leaving the mindset of duality and controlled and oppression, with this light integrating and shifting our DNA, we are having things revealed. And this election is very significant, and you just have to understand and keep the faith, meaning not just superficial, oh, I have faith. No, everything has been put in place that truth and integrity will prevail. Anything that God and is in righteousness will be put on the throne. And so what's happening now is a bunch of human beings and the one percenters that have controlled humanity for so long are fighting, squirming, and anything that is righteous does not need to lie, cheat, steal. And so what we're witnessing right now is this huge red wave across the United States, to bring forth more of the voices of the citizens. And this is not to put any authority, some people can argue right wing, left wing, same bird. Well, I believe those days are dying as well. There's a lot of people that do not, I'm just going to say it, and I'll turn the comments off on this particular YouTube because I'm not going to take and tolerate any slander, but a lot of people do not like the personality of our president. I was triggered by him initially myself at first, but God guided me to see past his personality and to look at him directly with no filter, to listen to him speak. And what I witnessed is somebody that's had to defend himself against the far left for he may have been doing this even as a child, right? Because when we are persecuted and slandered upon, then we feel like we have to justify ourselves and stick up for us. So what I can say about this is God guided me to stop listening to all media, and unless I was listening directly to him, I didn't believe anything that people just told me, and that has taught me so freaking much. And what I am back to, and I digress because I'm so super excited right now, it may appear with our two eyes that we're doomed and gloomed. And I don't believe that for a second. If man turns from their wicked ways, meaning wanting to control the population, wanting to separate, through the classic, color separation and gender and blah, 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 it will not stand. And the reason that God guided me to hear our current president directly instead of listening through all the filters and projections of everybody else was just divine guidance to me. I'm super excited that I was open enough to let go of my belief system about this particular person and really be in a neutral place to listen. So 2020, gaining clear vision. 2020 adds up to 4. We're witnessing with the stellium, which I call the Council of 3 in Capricorn, of the dismantling of the old structures that were not in integrity. And it does, with your two eyes, look very, very doom and gloom. However, I also been suggesting this whole year, since I started my channel, really, to go inner, to tether to the divine with no filters, to trust your intuition so that we can rebuild our foundations on something that is actually sustainable. And so the first card that I drew for this week's message is the guidance card. It is 33, which to me is so symbolic of the Master Yeshua and whoever you may, tether to and get your divine guidance from. But personally, for me, Yeshua is. This is the first message. Guidance is based on communication. The soul can send you a message through symbols, synchronicity, hunches, sudden inspiration, dreams, and even direct channeling. Consciously connecting with your guides, heightening your psychic abilities, and fine-tuning your skills to be present and to pay attention are all important parts of learning to receive guidance. As you open up, your soul begins to communicate your inner purpose for this lifetime for you. When you learn to hear and recognize its promptings, your life starts to take a magical quality. Ganesha is worshipped and adored by the Trimurthis, or the Trinity of Hinduism, which is made up of Ganesha, Shiva, and Brahma. The story goes that during the period of dissolution, the water and the wind were demolished and the earth evaporated. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva wandered the earth to determine what was causing this dissolution. The gods discovered a huge aura of light where Ganesha was enshrined. The Trimurthis immediately bowed to Ganesha in reverence and began to worship and praise. They requested that Ganesha bless them. Ganesha entrusted the gods with 3 separate duties. Vishnu is the preserver, Shiva is the destroyer, and Brahma is the creator. So this is the transformation we're all going through. We are going through many endings. And what we need to do as humans, because we cling to these ideas of not embracing change, and so then we resist it. What we need to do is tether to the divine, trust that God's hand is on all things. There are no coincidences. But it's also asking us to wake from the slumber, to become more of a prayer and a connection warrior, being still and listening to your inner compass so that you can be tethered to the divine, so you can listen to the subtle voice within you that tells you which direction to go. And that is super important right now, because there's a lot of people out there in the world that are telling you this, to believe this. And we have the North Node in Gemini. South Node is in Sagittarius. The South Node is our beliefs. It is asking us to leave behind our beliefs. And that is so significant, because when we cling to our beliefs and we're not open and willing to change our perspective, to, just like the transformation of this, and no coincidence because we're in Scorpio season, which is the sign, the Pluto energy of death and rebirth, transformation. Excuse me, I'm so excited today. This preserver, which is symbolic here of Vishnu, is to preserve your integrity within your heart, right? Shiva, the destroyer. Shiva is those things within us that we die to, whether it be an old belief system, whether it be the old perspective that you even had on yourself or others. And it is also the initiation of creation with Brahma. Brahma is that energy like the phoenix, the higher octave of Scorpio, of rising from the things that have persecuted you. You know, I listened to a beautiful pastor this morning, and he used symbolically the metaphor of Sally in The Nightmare Before Christmas, of in her flesh, beaten down and then sewn back together. This world, the worldly, the manly ways will beat the hell out of us as sensitive as empaths. I know for me, personally, I lost my empathetic child because this world did beat himself up. However, having the trusting your heart and your intuition to be able to patch yourself back up and to not allow the persecution, that's where the healthy boundaries comes in. Stitching yourself back together, you know. Sally's also has her mouth sewn shut. It is so symbolic and metaphoric. I just loved it. Can't think of his name, or I'd share him here with you, of that metaphor right now of what the socialist agenda is to suppress people who are free thinkers, to cover your mouth and not speak up and be in your righteousness. So that is a huge metaphor, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because that is exactly what we're witnessing. This world in the manly ways will beat the shit out of you, but stitch yourself back together by connecting with the divine and seeking that inner guidance, because that will lead you in the way. We have Mars getting ready to, I believe on the 13th of November, don't quote me, going to be coming out of its retrograde energy in the home sign of Aries, which will ask us to step forward in our spiritual, courageous ways on the higher octave. On the lower octave, it could be a lot of people lashing out, not being refrained from doing that anymore. So keep that in your awareness. I'll do many more updates before then. So let's finish this card. I'm so excited. I don't know where to share next. Remember that you can speak to support system in the spiritual realms, creating raised awareness. Make a point to look at spirituality from a new perspective that may be very unfamiliar to you. Be willing to talk to people whose experiences and beliefs are different from your own. You will be all the more rich for it. If you are concerned about getting true information about your personal life from a psychic or intuitive perspective, you can prepare for it by asking your heart to receive information that is the highest for your highest good. Be sure your motives are pure. You can ask the psychic or channel, which we all have within us. That's our God connection. And we've all been suppressed of that too, and it's coming out. You can't stop what's happening. The Great Awakening is here. I call it Christ consciousness. If you are concerned about getting true information, ask your heart. You can ask the psychic to channel the words that your own soul wants to hear to further your spiritual growth. Rely on your intuition and your inner knowledge rather than intelligence and your conscious mind. Listen, we're humans. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. This up here, this intellect, will try to undermine this soul connection that we have through the third eye crown connection to our guidance, higher guidance, by creating this dialogue that's argumentative, to doubting this with this. So just pay attention to that. Tether to the divine. Ask yourself for, a higher spiritual perspective for yourself. Rely on your intuition and your inner knowledge rather than your intellect. Watch for synchronicities and opportunities. Trust your instincts and pay attention as your message turns up from a variety of sources. Be attentive to your dreams. You may want to keep a dream journal. Synchronicities are very likely now, and we are in full-on manifest mode, guys. Pay attention and course correct yourself as often as you need to. This could even be a new job, an opportunity. The gods Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma may represent the different male energy in your life. Engage in the energy of men in your life, in an energy of Trimurthas to assist you with the task at hand. And what that means with the male energy is the male energy within you on how you can take physical action, because that is representative of the divine masculine. So, we are in, no doubt, Revelations, a time when old foundations are falling and new ones are needing to be built on authenticity. And so what we're witnessing with this latest election is a revealing of how corrupt and just how one-sided our elections have been thus far in the United States. And the only difference this year is that it is in our face fraud. It is perhaps even in our face that for so long, any of us that utilized our right to go and voice our truth on a ballot has probably always been corrupt, but it's in our face this year because they used the CV pandemic to fuel their agenda of socialism. And so what has happened is the push for mail-in ballots. And thankfully, our president does have the hand of God upon him. He has been listening to that truth that way within him. Like his personality or not, I don't give a shit. What matters is that truth will be revealed, and it is being revealed because we have major fraud in these states that have been ran by the Democratic parties for very long. And what we're witnessing is duplicate ballots. We are witnessing all of a sudden huge dumps of one-sided votes because the agenda for the one world order has been propagated by media, by TV, by our school systems. Many of our children, including possibly ourselves, have been indoctrinated into their socialist agenda, which is breaking down the family units and not allowing free thinking. They want our families broke down. They want us dependent on the system so they can control us. This is through vaccinations. This is through the schooling. So I'm telling all divine feminine or anybody that's in a parental figure role in this life to take back the power within you. They can't take it unless we give it. And so what we're seeing collectively as well is you need to decide what is best for your children if we want to have a future of freedom and fairness and justice. What is happening right now in the United States is being watched not only by God, but by everywhere across the globe, and we have to set the example. So, the election, I'm not concerned or worried about, because those 1%ers that felt the need that they needed to lie, cheat, and steal to take a position, it won't happen. Remember that God is always in control, and humans right now have an opportunity to choose which path we want to go. A full indoctrinated socialist country where you can't own your own property, that you have no say-so over what is injected into yourself or children, and keep tethering to the divine, because we are going to continue to watch this dismantling phase happen. And just trust. Pray with great confidence that truth will prevail. Don't stop praying, because we need it now more than ever. You know, I was also just like, if you were praying before this election because you feel stuff has been so off and revealed to us over 2020, don't stop now. It's needed. I believe there are already steps in place to reveal it more and more. If you listen to any sort of mainstream media, you are being misled. I have always on my channel, if you look through history of me sharing, got rid of TV personally 6 years ago. There's not a station out there on mainstream that you can trust with truth. Just remember that. So the next card we got was completion. This is the death and the eventually it becomes a rebirth, and this is the sacral chakra, right? So like I said, as humans, we don't embrace change, and now more than ever we need to make sure that we are open to allow the things to die so that we can have the rebirth, like we can have the sun rising behind us of a new day dawning. Because really what it boils down to for me as a spiritual courageous warrior, bereaved mother, that I'll be damned if I lost my child in the flesh for this society to continue to go on the path that it's going on and being so off kilter. We're supposed to uplift and encourage our children, not kill our children. And the far left agenda are thinking that it's okay to kill and abort children in the womb. Here we go, sacral chakra, up to full term. If you're supporting that, you better get right with yourself and really open your eyes. That's where I go. It's a beautiful thing when we can shut this up of judging a man, because he too is a sinner just like I am. And a sin is we've all made mistakes, but we're supposed to learn from them. Not an unworthy, I'm unworthy. That's what religion teaches us. Oh, I'm not even worthy of God's presence. The hell you're not. You're made in his image. Allow what needs to die, die, and be open to change and shift your perspective. Because if you're not right now, and you're clinging on to, oh, I just don't like his personality, I will never listen to a word he says, you are not doing yourself a righteousness or a justice at this point. And this is far deeper than political. I think I will leave the comments open for a little while. If I get anybody in here slandering, persecuting, you'll just be blocked. This isn't about just political. This is about the hand of God. This is about righteousness, and whoever takes the throne, so to speak, who has the blessings in his or her heart from God to protect the children, to protect the ones that can't speak for themselves. It's all about policies. It's not about personality. So give yourself that opportunity to let go of old beliefs. That's the South Node in Sagittarius, belief systems, letting go of them, because we are in a metamorphosis, a rebuilding of our foundations. The founding fathers built it on integrity, and corruption has infiltrated the far left Democratic Party, and we're witnessing fraud, voters fraud, that's in our face this year. This is not new. I've been saying that on my channel all along, but it's now being revealed. Why is it being revealed? Because we're connecting to our intuition. We're listening to other people. They handed out markers in my state. I voted for years, and yeah, the third, when I went to vote, they gave us Sharpie markers to put on a ballot. My intuition stopped me at the cup of markers, that's all they provided for us. Paused, but I didn't say anything. I questioned it, but I went ahead and do it. And many reports across the globe, which is the beautiful thing of being able to connect through the via internet, is listening to the truth of other people. And this has happened in mainly Democratic states. Those ballots may have been taken into the machine, but our votes didn't count in the flesh. Our president's already on that. So trust the plan. Like him or not, he's supported by God because he supports our children and he supports family. And he believes that every single one of us across the globe should have the opportunity that if we want to do better in our lives, that opportunity's there. So God bless Mr. President, his family, your family, and the truth will prevail because it's righteous. So we're witnessing major endings of an old hierarchy system, what he calls, and I definitely know too, as the deep swamp. You know, as a younger person in school, I never liked politics, didn't like school. There's no coincidence in that. If you put me in a course that's a spiritual course, I am there with bells on, ready to learn. You could not get me physically in the school. Like, I would go there and I would check out and leave, and there's a reason why I was indoctrinated in that as well. We are told what to think and believe. We are now being asked for that inner guidance to guide us more than ever. You know better than, I'm going to speak directly to you females out there right now. It is time for you to stand into your power, trust your intuition, and you know what's best for your children, not a school system, not a health department. Because I know for me, in my state of Michigan, ran by a Democratic tyrant that showed her ass to me all through 2020 with her one-sided rulings for suppression and dictating what you could purchase and what you could not purchase. It is then now revealed to me that your children should not be muzzled to go to school. God gave us all immune systems, and if you boost your immune system, which is staying out of fear, going into love, maybe do some herbal supplements, maybe drink your water, do some elderberry, do some vitamin C, get some zinc in you, God will take care of the things that need to be taken care of. You cannot fear death, just nor can I, of a little virus that's airborne and people walking around thinking the muzzle, which is complete suppression, sewing Sally's mouth shut, is going to stop an airborne virus from possibly or possibly not you coming in contact with it. Straight up truth going to be shared here on my channel, and if they censor me here like they've done many times on Facebook because YouTube's owned by Google, I will go to the alternatives. That's another thing I would like to say, an ending of supporting things that are not in integrity. I left Facebook yesterday and I permanently deleted it. I have sought alternatives to where there's integrity, where the truth is not being censored. And I highly suggest that we, the people, all stand up and stop supporting tyranny, censorship, because God gave us a voice for a reason. And if we are in integrity and we're sharing, there is no reason why big tech should be censoring perspectives that do not go with their agendas. And so we are being revealed of the censorship. We are being revealed and open to the fraud, the cheating, and any of those things, because God don't cheat. God is truth and the way. And so I've noticed the beautiful energy. The only platform I'm on, if you're one of my friends and I have not got your contact, please do contact me at Virgo Girl 13. I am on Parler only at this time. And you can also find me here. I will be purchasing a package on Zoom to where I can come in. We can do divine roundtables where we can meet up however often we are called to get together for the feminine, for the women, to start taking our power back, not only over ourselves, but over our children, and just talking about everything from astrology to current affairs. We are in Revelations, man, and I'm super excited. And instead of being pulled into the drama on Facebook, which is only tolerated because of we've all found it accustomed to connecting with people that way. The internet is a beautiful thing. However, that person that runs Facebook is not in integrity. They're part of the socialist agenda to take over our country, which will not happen. There's too many patriots for that to happen. And the Great Awakening is here upon us. You need to come out of the slumber. So many people have been, in fight or flight mode or survival mode of, I got to work, I got to support my family, I got to put a roof over my head, I got to feed ourselves. They haven't been able to slow down and go here. And that's what 2020 has given us all the opportunity to, with your free will. You still have to choose it, to reevaluate what really matters to us and tether to the divine and allow that to guide you. And so find alternatives to things. Do not support a platform that censors you, and you know damn well you're sharing the truth, but they're censoring you because it doesn't fit into their agenda. This, more than ever, is the time to stop saying yes to things that are not in integrity, because without us, they don't even have an opportunity to have a platform. And so keep that in mind. Mercury went stationed to go direct after a retrograde on election day. So we're seeing a lot of communication now coming up, because Mercury's in Libra before it goes back into Scorpio. We are, with these retrograde energies, Mercury and Mars both retrograde, and those are inner planets, so we feel them. The impact and the influence is stronger because they're inner planets and they move faster than the outer planets. I do believe Uranus is still retrograde, which is an outer planet, but that's also the cosmic mind. This is the opportunity to be still and listen and connect, because a lot of us are getting the downloads and a lot of us are getting the synchronicities, and we have to trust that more than ever. It's also the higher mind, the cosmic mind, the mind of God, so to speak. So we kind of have to merge the Mercury energy with the Uranus energy of the cosmos and the higher thinking to become in sync. And I always find it like here in the heart space, Yeshua, no coincidence, was the truth and the way. So as long as you are in that integrity, you're righteous, you're on the right path, right? So I do believe Jupiter is coming into its third and final, let me find it here. Jupiter and, is it Saturn or Pluto? Hold on, let me hear. Okay. November 12th brings the third and last Jupiter-Pluto conjunction this year and signals a positive, large-scale achievement. Pluto's desire to mine the gold, to dig up the deep, to reveal the hidden, is combined with Jupiter's good luck as a potential to make something good happen. So Jupiter is that expansive energy, broadening our perspective. So shoot high and don't bother dabbling with the low. So in other words, if you need to say no to somebody that's projecting on you, get strong and get courageous. This series of conjunctions occurs every 13 years. A major change of direction is on the agenda for Friday, November 13th. When the 10-week Mars retrograde comes to an end, this is asking us to be spiritually courageous and take some action. Mars, the warrior, remerges with courage and firepower needed to get things moving forward. Mars going direct is especially good news for those that have major Aries influence. We all have it in us, but those that have the sun, moon, ascendant, or midheaven in Aries. So you're going to feel some forward momentum. You may even get a sudden burst. Many of us have been beaten down. Listen to me, the 1% wants us feeling defeated. They want us feeling fear. They can't control us if we're in love and we're in righteousness and we're in this knowingness that we're at an end of a cycle, and we are now asked by the divine, by God, by the universe, to build our foundation on authenticity. And what we have to do is rid the old belief systems of ourselves, of others, and let go of the superficial comfort that the swamp of Washington or the corporations, I called it corporate America. I feel that's what's dying. We have a man in there that is a wild card that came into this position that was only there to be the wild card, to be the catalyst, to reveal to us how deep, how dark, how corrupt it's always been. And he is blessed by God, thanked by me. Continue to pray. It is about rebuilding a foundation for a better future for ourselves and generations to come. And I send this to you guys with so much love. Please reach out to me. There's a few people on social media that I was not able to get their phone numbers to. Robin, Nancy, Thea. Please do find a way to get my number from somebody that's already on there. I completely deleted my Facebook account permanently, and I will not be back on there unless or until Mark Z is held accountable for the dirty lack of integrity. And I just send this to you guys with so much love. Tune in with me. Give this a like. Give it a share. We'll see how it goes with me leaving the comments on. I will not tolerate slander from anybody. And this is far deeper than political. This is about dark and light. Time to wakey wakey. We've been asleep at the wheel for too long. Reel your power back in. You don't give it, they can't take it unless you give it. Stop with the oppression. Stop putting up with the censorship. Your voice matters. Namaste. I'll talk to you soon.